everyone, tonight's video is gonna be a what's for dinner video, and I'm just gonna show you what I'm making. I'm making a little pan of zucchini and chicken casserole. I'm trying to use up what I have here that I need to use. So for this you need a box of stuffing mix, and this just expired in Best by November, so we're gonna use this up. And then I have some onions that I cut up that I need to use, and then some purple potatoes, and then the star of the show down here is the little zucchini, so I cut that up. And I'm waiting for my chicken to cook in the pan. Let me show you. I had 2 chicken breasts that I had frozen, so I diced them up. This recipe calls for you to cook it before you put it in the casserole dish, so that's what I'm doing. And it says to heat your oven to 350 degrees. And I diced up the chicken breast. This was in the freezer, so I de-thawed it in the microwave because I left it in the fridge all day and it was mostly still frozen, so I had to de-thaw it a little in the microwave. And I don't like doing that, but it happens. And then for spices on the chicken, I put this Tone Brothers The Works. I put this complete seasoning, the chicken winter seasoning. I got all 3 of these from the Dollar Tree. And then I have an Simply Organic garlic powder. So that's what I am using for the chicken. I wanted to be kind of simple this time. I usually go like too much into putting too many spices, and just it takes a long time for me to cook because I take a long time. But this time I just wanted to simply just get it together quick. I found this little loaf pan or casserole dish. It says to use a 9 by 13. This is 6 by 10. So I'm gonna see how this does, because the recipe called for like 4 chicken breasts and I only have 2, and that's more than enough. And then with these veggies, it doesn't say to add the onions and the potatoes, but I just added it because that's what I need to use up. And then I'm gonna put on the oven to 350. And also for today, I think I'm going to use up this Wednesday super moist dark chocolate cake mix, because it says use by September, so I have to go through all my cake mixes and make some. And then my friend at work, he wanted to have a chocolate cake, and that's the one that I saw. So that's gonna be for dessert. So I'm just going to let this cook until I don't see any more pink and everything is white. And hopefully it doesn't overcook. I used olive oil in the pan, and because that's what I wanted to use. You could use whatever. You could cook it in water or vegetable oil, whatever. But it is juicy. As you can see, it's making a lot of its own juices. Now, it doesn't say to cook any of these in this. It just says to mix everything together, the stuffing. I think I'm gonna end up putting the vegetables in this liquid once the chicken is done, just to have a little bit of flavor. And since I am using potatoes, I want them to get a little bit soft. We'll see, but let me let this finish cooking and then I'll come back. Also, you need some kind of sour cream, or I'm gonna be using mayonnaise because I don't have sour cream. And I have a little bit of heavy whipping cream. If that's still good, I was going to use that. And then they used mozzarella cheese, but I only have American cheese, so that's all right. So let's see when I come back after the chicken is cooked. While the chicken is cooking, I'm going to prepare the stuffing mix. So you need a box of stuffing, and you're not going to prepare it like the way that it says on the box. So here is the mix. And if you don't know what stuffing mix is, it's just like dehydrated bread in a bag with like seasoning and stuff. to put in turkey or chicken. So this is chicken flavored. I did have a turkey flavored one, but that has a Best By date newer, so I'm going to use the older one first, and it really shouldn't matter. And then you need a whole stick of butter. So it says to melt the butter, and then we're going to mix in the stuffing mix, and we're going to reserve half a cup. So let me do that now. Okay, so here is the butter. I did 30-second increments, and I didn't let it I didn't have this completely melt, because usually it's soft enough at the end that you can just mix it, and then the big clumps will just melt in as you mix it. So you don't want to have it splash all over your microwave. So now I'm gonna add the stuffing mix here, and I might do a little bit at a time. I didn't have a big bowl, I just used like a little shallow dish, so I don't want it to make a mess, so I'm just gonna mix it a little bit at a time. This should be good. So I got these stuffing mixes from one of the food pantry hauls that I did. I don't know if I uploaded it and showed this one, but it's definitely worth it to get this stuff if you are able to get it from the food pantry. I was lucky enough to get this from somebody at my work who, like I said, they were gonna throw it all out, and now we don't have to because I'm using it. I decided to go through some of my pantry and see what I could use up, because I think it's important to use up what you have, and I was just getting stuff and not making it like ideas. So I looked up this idea, and I had a zucchini that I needed to use, and I thought this would be a good easy dinner, and I had everything or something similar. So I'm gonna mix this up a little bit more, and the chicken is actually looking really good. I'm gonna say that it's almost done. It all looks white, and the liquid is coming out of it. It's evaporating. So I'm just gonna leave this for a couple more minutes, and then I'll come back after this is mixed up. Right, so I mixed this up well, and then I'm going to check on the chicken. I split one open and it looked fine, but I'm actually going to use my meat thermometer and see what we get. Should be at 165. These are really small pieces. This is 189. And it is going to go in the oven anyway, but okay, it's reading at like 170, so I think we're good. I don't want to dry it out, that's for sure. So I'm going to turn this off and get this out of the pan, and then I'm going to add the vegetables in. I'm going to transfer the chicken straight to the bowl here, so I'm going to spray it with some Pam so it doesn't stick. I have all my chicken moved over to the pan, and now I'm gonna put this on number 3. It was around 3. As you can see, it's still hot, it's bubbling. And I'm just gonna add my vegetables for a few minutes. I really just want to get the flavoring out of this pan, so using the vegetables to suck up the extra oil will help. And I have a little spatula that I was using for the stuffing to mix it better. So I'm just gonna let these go in the pan for a few minutes because we are cooking it in the oven. So, but it's good when you go to mix it in, everything will be warmed up. So I would say let's set a timer for 5 minutes and see what happens in 5 minutes. Alright, the timer is up, and as you can see, the vegetables are starting to get a little bit of color on them. So that's basically all that I wanted them to do, was to get in the leftover oil to use it up. As you can see, there's not much left. And then just start to kind of, come together and cook. So I'm going to turn this off now. And I was reading the directions, and you actually do need to put everything together in a bowl because you're going to lay it in the casserole dish after. So I missed that part. You put it in with the stuffing. So I'm going to show you what else you need. So you need a can of cream of whatever. Cream of mushroom, cream of celery. I have golden mushroom. I have this one. I don't know if I have a chicken one. I have to keep going through my pantry, but I'm just grabbing whatever I see right now so I can use it up. And this is good until October of this year, so that's okay. I can get a new one now because I'm using it up. And this is the stuffing. You're supposed to reserve half a cup because I think this goes on top at the end. Instead of the sour cream, I'm going to be using mayonnaise. And then if it is a little bit still dry, I'm going to add the heavy cream. I might add just a little bit just to use it up. And then here's the half a cup of mayonnaise. You need half a cup of sour cream, but I'm going to use the mayonnaise instead. And just to be safe, I'm not going to add the whole amount. I know you can cook chicken in mayonnaise, but still. And then I'm going to be using this white American cheese that I got from the deli because that's all I have right now. And I haven't been using cheese as much since I haven't been cooking. So that will give me something to use up some of it too. So let me get everything put together in a bowl, or at least a bowl here so you guys can see, and then I'll come back. Here's my large bowl. So what I'm going to do is add the stuffing mix, and I will scoop the rest out later after I have two hands because I don't have a tripod right now. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to add the chicken back in as well. So let me get that. I have the stuffing and the chicken in the bowl together. I'm going to let the vegetables cool down a little bit before I put them in. It says to mix in the cheese. Since I have it sliced cheese, I'm going to actually cut this up into little strips, and then I'll add that, and I'm going to add the mayo in now too and mix it around, and then the can of soup. So let me open that. Alright, I added the can of soup, and don't worry, I will get this out. I hate when people make videos and they don't get it all out, but I will. I just can't do it one-handed. So it doesn't look like very appetizing right now, but I'm going to mix in the mayo, the cream of mushroom soup, the chicken, the stuffing, the vegetables once they get a little cool. And then the cheese, I'm going to cut that up. So let me do that, and then I'll come back. Alright, now the vegetables are going in. They had a chance to cool off for a little bit. So I'm going to get these mixed in and the cheese, and then I'll come back for the final reveal. Right, here it is. It doesn't look like much. It looks really bad, but it actually smells good. Here is the cheese that I cubed up. I think when I put it in the dish, I'm actually going to top this layer with some cheese, I think, because I don't know about mixing it in. And then I have just a little bit of heavy cream. So I think I'm going to put just a little bit in here to make the stuffing a little bit liquidy. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to get it in the pan so it looks better than this, and then I'll come back and show you. Right, everyone, it definitely looks better inside the casserole dish. So it's jam-packed. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of cheese so I can use that up. And when I put this in the oven, I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet. So that way, if we have any bubbling, it will go on the cookie sheet and not all over the oven. All right, I'm gonna push this down because we have to get the stuffing on the top. So this is what you top it with. You save a half a cup of stuffing and don't spill it on the floor like I just did. So I'm just gonna spread it around and I'll get it on my sheet pan and then I'll show you guys because now it's on the stove. I have to get it off. Here it is. It's on the cookie sheet now. It looks good. Looks ready to go. I hope the stuffing doesn't burn on the top. It says to cook it for 40 to 50 minutes. This cookie sheet was my grandma's, so it's pretty beat up, but I use it a lot because it was hers, and for stuff like this it's perfectly fine. And whatever I cook on it, I just put foil down or parchment. But anyway, it looks really good. I'm gonna snap a pic and then let's get it in the oven and start baking it while I get the cake started. So here's what it turned out like. Super versatile. You could do whatever you want with it. I got some spots on my shirt like I always do. I need to wear an apron. Hopefully it's just water, but let's see. So I'll be back in 40 minutes to check on it, and the oven is at 350. Right, everyone, it's been 40 minutes, so let's take a peek and see what it looks like. The stuffing is definitely brown on top and it is bubbling. So I'm gonna say it's done. So I'm going to take it out of the oven and show you guys. All right, here it is. Super bubbly, still really hot, but the chicken was cooked anyway and it was starting to get really brown on the top. So I didn't want it to get burnt, so I took it out. But just go by your own judgment, what you see, if it's turning really brown. It looks really good, so I'm gonna let this cool down and I'm going to start making the cake mix. So I wanted to make the chocolate flavor stand out more. So I know if you put coffee, using coffee grounds, or brew a cup of coffee with the K-cups, that enhances the flavor of chocolate. So I have this that I got as a Christmas gift, and I got it a while ago, and it actually says Best Buy in November. So I used some of this to make coffee for the cake. So yeah, I brewed a cup of that, so that's here. And then I have some eggs that I'm gonna see if they're still good or not, because I've had them in the fridge for a while. So if you put them in water and they float, then they're bad. But if they sink and stay at the bottom, they're good. So I'm gonna try that with these. I need 3 eggs. I have vegetable oil, and for the coffee, if you're using that, you substitute the water for the coffee. So, and I'm gonna make cupcakes, I think. I'm debating whether I want to put little chocolate chips in here, but maybe I'll just stick with the cake mix for now, make it simple for the day. And this oven temperature was 350, just like how we needed it for the casserole, so we're good to go. So let me get the bowl and then we'll make the cake mix. Okay, here is my muffin tin. So I've had these cups for a while, and I realize now that I have a bunch of these and I don't need to buy any more. So if you guys see that I'm gonna buy these, let me know. I have so many at home. I know I got some at a garage sale. Every holiday I have them. I actually saw this girl and she said that she keeps all of her holiday ones like in a bag, and then she just like picks random ones during the year to make them like it's a good idea, like Christmas in July or Easter, whatever. They're just cupcake liners. So I'm going to take a few of the colors and put them out here. And then for the cake, I have 3 eggs. So I scrambled them up a little because I don't have a beater. So I'm going to hand mix it. So you need 3 eggs, a half a cup of vegetable oil, and 1 cup of water, which I'm going to use the coffee for. And here's the vegetable oil. I need to use that up as well because I have a big one and it's past the date a little bit, so I want to make sure that I use it. So for the cupcakes, it makes 24 and you need to cook it for 14 to 19 minutes. So I might have to do 2 batches because I don't know if I have another muffin tin. So, oh, I have a bigger one, but that's really big. They come out really big. So let me get this ready and then I'll show you. Here I have the muffin tin full of the cupcake wrappers. Here I have my gigantic bowl. Here's the cake mix, and here's what we need for it. And just in case you didn't see before, let me grab that because I dropped it. This is the Betty Crocker Wednesday Super Moist Dark Chocolate Cake Mix. So I'm going to keep this box for like junk journaling, I think. There's no recipe on the side. It just says it's an exclusive for the Wednesday movie. So I thought that was kind of neat and it was on sale. And you could have also got the whipped frosting that went with that. But I didn't see that. I think it says cream cheese or something. I don't know. If you guys know which frosting came with this, let me know. But I'm hoping I can go to the Dollar Tree and find the Bridgerton versions like this. For now, I just have the Wednesday version. So now we have to combine everything, and I always heard that you're supposed to combine the dry and the liquid, like the dry to the liquid. So I'm going to add the eggs first, and then I will use a spatula to get the rest of that out. Then I'm going to add the olive oil, no, the canola oil or vegetable oil. Whatever you have will work. This is my Hello Kitty measuring cup. It's a big measuring cup. Okay, and then we're gonna add the 1 cup of coffee. Okay, it's just a tad bit warm because you don't want to cook your eggs. So I'm just gonna slowly pour that in. And then there may be a few coffee grounds in there because I had a coffee filter, but it kind of like broke open as I was taking it out. So there are a little bit of coffee grounds, but there's not a lot. And then we're gonna add the cake mix. This is a gigantic bowl, but sometimes I feel like it's better to have a bigger bowl so you can stir it really well and not have it go all over the place. And since I was already using this bowl for dinner, I figured why not? I'll just wash it and then reuse it. This is a lock and lock container. If you guys don't know what that is, Google it. They're really good containers that come with lids that lock tight, and they make it so it doesn't spill, nothing spills out. I would recommend, and they're usually on QVC, and you can get a good deal around the holidays. So I got these as a gift, but I was using them because the one lady had recommended them, and then now I use them a lot. All right, let me get this mixed up and then I'll come back. Hi everyone. So I usually just mix it until you move your spatula and you don't see any more powder around the edges or in the middle. This looks really good. It smells really chocolatey and yummy. So now I'm just gonna spoon it into the cups and then I'll show you when I'm done with that. Hi, here they all are. They look super good. I tried to make them as even as I could. I used a 1/4 cup measuring cup to dish it out. So here we have 12 right now. And I'm gonna tap it down a little bit to get the bubbles out, the air bubbles, just to see, make sure that there are none. And then I'm gonna put these in the oven. And it says to cook for 14 to 19 minutes. So I'm gonna put them on the top rack, make sure that they're got no bubbles, and I'll come back when they're done. I have to get one more tray or wait until these are done, so we'll see. Hi everyone, here are the cupcakes. They are done. For some reason these two here got like a little puffy, or maybe a couple of them did, but I tested them and they are cooked in the middle. So we got 19. It said that you were supposed to get 24, so a little bit off is okay. So I have more than enough to share with everybody. They are super dark. They do look really like dark chocolate, so I'm excited to see how they taste with the coffee as well. And then this is cooled down now enough to put in the refrigerator. So that's it for this cooking video. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I'll link it down below for the inspiration for what I did for that. And then yeah, here's the cupcakes. And I don't know, do you guys want to see what it looks like? Because I can cut it open real quick. Right, so instead of cutting it open, I'll just take a little spoonful out. I'll cut it kind of like this. It's had time to set up now. So the stuffing is nice and crispy on top. I'm just gonna uncover what it looks like. So the chicken is definitely cooked. It's super creamy inside. And yeah, I had leftovers, so I'm not gonna eat this right now, but when he gets home he'll probably eat some, and then I'll give my mom and dad some for dinner tomorrow so she doesn't have to cook. But it does look really good. It's still really creamy, and yeah, it's something so simple you could put together with whatever ingredients you have and make it work. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.